Well, now it's time for our casters to get us into that game one between BLG and Snake.
我们的目标是再次突出重围，哔哩哔哩干杯！
Thank you, Mr. Roma. And if you had enough of us, well, too bad, because we're back for more as we get into our second series of the day here in Chongqing. And it will be, of course, Snake in the home arena in Snake Pit versus Bilibili Gaming. How are you feeling, Frusk?
I'm feeling really good. So like you said, we went over from Hangzhou. We're now in Chongqing.
Yep.
And no one survives the Snake Pit. Now, we've gone through draft phase, so unfortunately, we won't be able to cover that, but we're getting right into it.
That's all good. Get it, Chongqing.
The anime fans out in full force. If you guys don't know, Bilibili Gaming is a streaming platform similar to YouTube. It specializes in their anime content, so I guess close to Crunchyroll.
Yes, unfortunately, it's all pretty much in Chinese. So I tried it, and it's like, I don't understand any of this. But it's great. It's fantastic, and they have the team in the LPL, BLG on the blue side of the Rift here, and yeah, we'll see how they can do, because Bilibili Gaming not been doing so hot on the Rift lately here in the Summer Split.
Yeah, we've got to reset our expectations. BLG came smashing through the playoffs. They were my personal dark horse for Spring Split, but then everything seemed to fall apart after it was going so well for Chieftain and Mole, this brand new mid-jungle duo that was supposed to take BLG to kind of the next level for them, because they've played little brother to the LPL for so long. They were finally ready to step up, and now they've slid backwards. And speaking of constantly playing second fiddle, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, it's Snake Esports.
True, it is Snake. They are definitely crazy. But they've gone to something a little more conventional recently. They've swapped back to having Light in the bottom lane, actual AD carry. We actually opened the split with no AD carry for the longest time with Snake, but now they've gone back to it. So mid laner, bottom lane, support, it's all good.
Yeah, they're moving away from playing just the pure style of funnel me. He's no longer acquiring all of the gold, in fact playing a much more standard delay invade means that he has path into the top side of the map, and we'll actually see if he's going to fall back to his blue buff here as Road wants to scout it out, get some vision, or if he was going to walk directly to his red buff and deny the red from Chieftain. But I think with the information that Road has acquired, Chieftain feels safe enough that he can invade and grab himself some vertical jungling red buff.
Now, this is, you know, just a little flashback from what happened when we first saw Chieftain the Mole head onto the lineup. Chieftain was hella aggressive, and a lot of that was also coming in from Mole in the mid lane, winning them 2v2 almost consistently and constantly. It means that Chieftain was just running amok in the jungle. Now, we saw a lot of Skarner play out from him, something that can actually duel in the jungle, that type of thing. But now it's nice to see, again, Chieftain just getting there, as you said, virtual jungling happening here, but being a bit of a, you know, a smart vegetarian and also a carnivore at the same time. He's the omnivore, you know? But Chieftain, it feels like recently that's been dropping off just a little bit.
Chieftain was my jungler to watch in the LPL. It felt like for a very long time we had lost a lot of our jungle strength, and now it's slowly been injected back into the league with, you know, the return of Condi, with MLXG and Karsa returning to form. Of course, we've always had SOFM. And then you have this new hotshot. Chieftain comes in, makes a pretty deep playoff run with BLG, puts up some surprising numbers for not playing much tape. I just want to see him return to that form and kind of really figure out where he fits in the scheme of things.
Yeah, I mean, Chieftain and Mole made a splash in the LPR, but ultimately it was just that. They made a splash, and then came back up to the surface, and then other teams just kind of adapted, and they got kind of lost in transition. What it was a meta thing, I don't know. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Flandre getting caught out, not dodge away from by Amazing J will be able to put some extra damage on towards him as he goes back to the tower.
I mean, stylistically, if you look at BLG and what made them successful, they were always considered kind of the late-game wombo combo
the comeback
team.
Kids.
They really like their team fights. They need multiple goes at it, but if they play with flanking teleports, if they play with, you know, do-or-die decision-making, they seem to really thrive. Now, as the meta has shifted, team fights are still almost just as important, if not more important, but you're no longer having games where you have 4 to 5 team fights. It's more like 2 to 3 decisive ones. And unfortunately, BLG never really had a semblance of a mid-game. Chieftain and Mole definitely helped out there, but really haven't found their footing quite yet in this type of meta, although very good look for game number 1 in the first 5 minutes here.
Yeah, from what they've been setting up so far, this is, again, night and day, light and day. Bottom lane, flash of the way. He will be planted in place, though. He's taking a lot of damage very quickly. That will be first blood going over to Road, and Maestro without a marksman.
And if we're talking about BLG and some of the problems, we also need to talk about that guy, Road. He's on the recon, he makes the gank work this time around, but he is feast or famine for this team. As BLG have been suffering, Road has been one of the primary sufferers. He constantly either is 0-9 or 9-0.
I mean, again, I don't know if he's the torturer or the tortured. At the end of the day, it feels like part of that is him, as you say, going 0-9, but then his team is suffering.
It just speaks to the fact that he's a relatively binary player. He is a win more type of support. Now, he'll set it up, he'll give you these plays, he forces the flash. It means that Chieftain's able to connect with his own flash when he wants to gap close, and then there's no counterplay for Light. But, you know, if Road is playing from the back foot, if he needs to be more conservatively, if he needs to think and read the map, he doesn't really have that skill set. So he's good. He has a peculiar set of skills.
Fair. Top lane, though. Good old Ned Flandre. Going to be facing down Amazing J. This time he's got his hands on a Jax, though, for himself. Been a while since I've casted a top lane Jax.
But the last time we saw Flandre, he did play the top lane Jax and to a lot of success. Clement mentioned it on the desk. Flandre has moved away from playing kind of these tanks and then to more of the carries. And his performance, I mean, it felt like he had a really rough 2016, but then Flandre came back swinging in 2017, and that has carried over into 2018 as now a top lane gank.
Chieftain's here, and Flandre realizes he has to go in. Double flash, and that means in the end of the day, Flandre will die mid-air, put back to the ground.
Had to be perfectly played by Chieftain, however, as Flandre was going to get the better of AJ there. Now, it is expected that between AJ and Flandre, that Flandre would be the guy that's going for the kills. AJ never really known for his lane phase, but SOFM, ooh, good boy.
Is this SOFM, really?
Holds the wave for him.
My God. Who is this man? I wonder if you're done with SOFM.
Put that in the highlight reel. It's constantly SOFM. It's just about the crazy outplays, the funnel composition.
Everything's about me, baby. Give me your farm. I'll tax your lane. I'll take the enemy's raptors. I'll take mid lane. I'll take my own jungle. I'll take everything. But right there, he held the way for Flandre. Unbelievable.
Understands where his win condition is. Now, as we look at these compositions, and we do have a minute to kind of look at them, talk about them, you've got kill pressure everywhere for Snake. Yeah. But a lot of the attention does need to be given to the Jax. Get him on a good foot and make sure that he gets this lead over Mundo. And here we go.
Oh, putting a flash on that one. Flandre is a little ways off. He'll find the stun off the counter-strike, and body blocked right there.
Excellent
follows over the ultimate. SOFM! Style of me, more like style on you.
See, again, I just don't know what's more impressive, him holding the wave or that cask.
I don't know. Who is he? I don't know.
I feel like you just need positive reinforcement. Get some like Clockwork Orange going where you just keep his eyes open, and when he holds the wave and the coach is like, yes, just like this, yes.
Yep. Recondition. Maybe that's what they did in the Snake House. Who knows? We'll ask the coach.
Because the thing is not only does the hold wave mean that Flandre gets the EXP and the gold that he would have missed, but it means that Mundo's overextended, so SOFM gets to make that gank. See? Win-win.
Hey, 100%. The ultimate setup. Now, I'm just waiting to see where the weird comes in, because this has all been a little spookily too good in the early game from SOFM. So I'm like, all right, well, you're playing Gragas. I remember you used to build a Fiends and Holy Grail on the Gragas. So where is it?
I think he's learned. I think it's going to go pretty stock standard.
Are we betting on this?
Yeah.
I think he's going to build something weird, and you think he's going to be okay for the whole game?
Yep.
All right.
I think he's on his best
there we
form
go.
right now.
I hope the analyst is also placing their bets. Are you Team Fruskir or are you Team Pulse? I personally am Team Pulse.
We do have a bit of a blue contest happening right now. This is slightly dangerous, though. Mole is... Uh-oh.
Dangerous Road's middle name, Frusk. SOFM face first into a talent. Uh-oh, don't want this one. Grogro, a little too early on that taunt. He's going to get stunned up on the front line by Chieftain, but he is Tunky. Oh, over the wall. Maestro comes in to follow through as well. Slams down onto the earth. Grogro following through. Doesn't find a Justice Punch, but here comes Light in from the bottom lane. Mole jumps over the wall, and Grogro finds him once again. Jin Dao, it is lights out for him as Light finds the kill. Chieftain over the wall, trying to get away from this one. And Road triple knock up. Let's go, Road. Still doesn't manage to save his ally, but that was still pretty sick. In the end, multiple outplays.
That good Gouda right there from Guoguo. That was beautiful play from the Galio. Not only does he block the Sejuani ultimate and make sure that SOFM's able to walk out initially, holds on to the Galio ultimate until he can use it to stack on top of Maestro here. The flash over the wall into double taunt, and then wait, there's more. Look at Guoguo. He's gonna flash this wall and hit the taunt.
Oh, unbelievable. Fantastic stuff coming across the board, and then the follow-through comes in. Look at Road over the wall, the triple knock-up almost saves his ally, but wins the wall already used.
And this is the thing, if you haven't watched Snake Esports in summer yet, this is not Snake of spring. They are no longer top of the LPL now that Rogue Warriors and Edward Gaming have returned to form. They've been sliding down. They're sitting pretty much equal in their conference, and so returning to basics, moving away from the funnel compositions, going back into this very chaotic, scrappy style of team fighting that they really just thrive in. If you want an animal-style team from the LPL, this is your animal style, baby. Get me some mustard on this burger.
Yep, 100%. They're named after an animal, and they absolutely live up to that fact. But you also think about the players in this team. You're looking at prodigies right here, and I can definitely use that term. Flandre is a prodigy, and never really showed up in the first time we saw in the LPL. Then we see flashes of brilliance. SOFM, the same. The mad scientist looking for more in the top lane. Jumps on top, looking for the lead strike. Takes him down to half. There's the stun. Oh, it's too perfect. Right into the perfect timing. We're going to take a catnap, but in the end, we're put down permanently. Another kill to SOFM.
Yeah, but reminder, even though I'm ganking for you, Flandre, this kill is still mine. SOFM now sitting 2-0-1. So he's done his part. He held the wave. He ganked his lanes. But that means that he's getting the payoff.
Absolutely insane stuff coming out from Snake. Let's see if they can keep it up as this game progresses, because I like what I'm seeing out of Chongqing right now. Road and Jinjiao are going to find this crab in the bottom side, at least taking that one away from SOFM as he was getting everything in the jungle, trying to funnel a bit of gold down onto Jinjiao in not a pure funnel composition. Mole also at the same time running that smite in the mid lane with this Talon. So again, BLG trying to lean into the meta and see if they can find anything that works for them.
I also think it's just a response to seeing the likes of the Shen Swain and how much kill pressure is in that 2v2. It's always a good, viable option to look for Xayah and Rakan, especially with Bloodrazor and the changes that have come to it on 8-11. But just so much safety. You have your flash, you have the Xayah ultimate, you have all of the dashes of Rakan. So, I'm a fan. If you're going to play 2v2, I think that's the way to go. Or 2v2 ADC, I guess I should clarify.
I hear you. Well, in the mid lane, just approaching with Road in the bottom side, just clearing out that ward, getting a bit of deep vision, deep clearage going on. Meanwhile, Chieftain will open up onto the Ocean Dragon. Now, Snake not going to be too phased by this one. I mean, yes, we are still in laning phase, so it is a nice boon for BLG, but Snake not going to burn the house down just because of it.
I feel like this is going to be repeated ganks onto the top side, and may even a dive. As soon as he sees that this dragon's here and he knows Chieftain's bottom, look at AJ. He's like, I can't be on this tower. They know where you are. And they've still found me.
Oh my god, SOFM. I mean, not only a 10, he's bought some real estate up in top lane. He was waiting for the ultimate. I mean, at this point, he only needs a zone. I mean, they could get the kill, but what's a kill? We can take a tower, because we're going to be racing on the bottom side. BLG are here, but the minion wave is gone. Light there with the defense, and that whole play fizzles. What's in top side for us? It's a tower to Snake.
And I don't want to... viewers will look at that and they'll think like, oh, Maestro, why did you leave Light to die like that? Maestro was actually just backing up to make sure that he could 100% get the stand united. So excellent cross-map communication, and also great communication from the newest guy, Light, setting themselves up, able to hold that tower, and now massive tempo advantage for Snake. Not only do they get top-tier tower, but they take the blue buff and they're rotating mid.
All right, this has got to work out for BLG. Nah, it's not going to happen. Roll over the wall. And Snake are just getting everything, and they are doing it cleanly as well. Like, we're talking about animal style, but there's clean play coming out of Snake. Moving on to the Herald as well. They'll take this one.
This is what I've been waiting to see for Snake. I am so done with the mad scientist, the creativity. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun, but no one quite plays the chaotic Snake style as well as these guys in the LPL. It's part of the reason why, unfortunately, they ran into RNG in the playoffs, so they didn't get to make a deep playoff run, but Spring felt like that could have been it for Snake. They were so close. And Worlds just gives them even more opportunities because there's more seeds up for grab.
Hey man, do it again. I mean, even at the very least at the start of the split that you don't maybe get to the top of the standings, you got a lot of experience trying everything in the meta possible. So Snake, it's always in their back pocket now. You know, it's in that bag of holding. They can pull it out at any time. It's just like, Rengar Ivan, let's go. And then like RNG are like, what? And then and Snake are like, 2-0.
But now we do need to take stock of the clock. It's about 14 minutes into the game. The first tower that fell down was the top tower, and no weird lane assignments coming. It's the fact that Flandre is just going to continuously rock up into the top side, and that's because Jax is ready to go. He's got the Rift Herald, he has the Trinity Force, he has the kill pressure on anyone who's going to duel him, and with Guogo and Light both having TP, with the Stand United and the Galio mobility, Snake could just play around Flandre as kind of this big, massive pressure valve that is just waiting to be unleashed.
Yeah, right now with that Triforce as well, he has a big advantage in the top lane.
No one can do anything. They have to, multiple members have to deal with Flandre.
Yep.
And so if you're BLG, you know, what are your options? You look at the mid lane tower, you say, okay, can we break this? Well, we don't have eyes on Gragas, and it's Galio who's just going to free clear the wave. We can't go bottom. The tower's already been down there. So either we throw multiple options at trying to kill Flandre and then lose a numbers advantage because of all the mobility spells that Snake have, or what? And this is what they're doing. Like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah,
we don't know where to go.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Guogo leading the charge. Shadow Assault. I mean, that was insulting to my eyes. That's not going to stop Flandre from summoning Shelly, and she's going to get a big old charge off in the mid lane.
What?
Shelly?
Hello?
Well, they'll get the tower anyway, and Shelly didn't use any health off of that, so they can look for a second charge, but, I don't know, man.
Did I miss a patch now?
I don't know. Shelly's first charge does nothing. I assume what happened right there is she got clipped on the terrain, and that's why the damage didn't go through. I mean, Snake didn't care regardless, but that was definitely a bug.
Maybe a visual one.
But there was no damage on the tower. They continued to hit the tower until it died.
I don't know. There was some the health bars were covering things up. I need to take another. I'd like to take a review.
Bring the refs in.
Yellow flag, please.
Check it one more time. But either way, Snake
To be
managed to pick
fair,
up
I went for my water, so I wasn't.
yeah, bet. Snake are going to get themselves a mid lane tower, which is absolutely huge at 16 minutes into the game. Mole pushing back into the mid lane, but he knows that Snake are not too far behind, so he's going to transition into the top lane, as will all of BLG. Has this been read by Snake, however, we're about to see them on the minimap very, very shortly. Let's see what the response is.
Multiple TPs, if they want to find it, they could, but I think you're correct, Pulse, that they're just a little bit too late to the punch.
Yeah.
So, BLG, they lose their mid lane tower, but they don't take the reset on the map, and then during Snake's reset, where they go back to base, they walk back onto the rift, they do manage to scrape away a structure, so still life left in them, and still technically the gold lead for them, 27 to 28k, or 26,
Yeah.
excuse me.
That's fair, but then you also have to look at like the objectives that have been taken. Now the middle outer turret is obviously one of the most important objectives around the early/mid game versus a top lane tower, and also that just means that's an even longer lane, and if Jax wants to stay up there, then well, Mundo is just equally again not going to have a good time.
Not going to have access to a lot of gold where he can start really taking off. The nice thing is it's still Mundo, and I feel like he's still a relatively low econ top laner in comparison to a lot of the other top laners running around, like the Jax.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the top lane matchup, to follow on from our Mundo conversation earlier, is that if you have a Jax who is ahead, he's very annoying to itemize against as a tank, because his damage is around 60-40, 50-50 split between AD and AP, which is why you can see Amazing J splitting between having Tavis and the Spirit Visage at the same time. Yeah, but then you're ineffectually building both stats, which means that Flandre are going to have a bigger power spike when you hit your first item, which is the Triforce. Opening up around the dragon right now. 30 seconds to go. Rhodes is here first, but he's got Jinjiao over the wall, so he can just dance off to his partner. As for FM is waiting in the brush, as is Chieftain. But we're just setting up right now. It's all the setup. Flandre going back to base right now as well. Low health, low mana, but he has to teleport, ready to go from base.
Curious how potent and powerful that BLG believe that they are. Again, if we look at the gold lead, it's relatively even across the board, but looking at the itemization, yeah, in the 1v1 between Jax and Mundo, that can be a bad time. But if you look at Mole, he's got the completed Dustblade, he's got a lot of penetration, you have Storm Razors on Xayah, as well as access to the Zeal. BLG are pretty confident on their single item power spikes. They could take this fight depending on how it's executed.
Chieftain primed and ready over the wall, has flash and ultimate. SOFM bring this one down to half, and Road is in very early, maybe too early. Jinjiao pushing forwards, he's found Maestro, he's gonna blow him up where he stands. Meanwhile, throws out the Feather Storm, Chieftain on the backside, but Flandre is the one who is ripping apart the backline. He finishes off one bird person, but that's only Road. Can we find the carry? Light low, he's about to ascend into darkness, pops the ultimate, and he goes in to the Zhonya's. Meanwhile, Jinjiao getting chased down by a very angry Flandre. He finds 3 as Chieftain is now being chased down. Finds a hop on towards an ally, and Guogo chasing after. No flash on him. Will not be the taunt, but Flandre looking for the dragon.
And Flandre was the breaking point there. Yes, it came down to execution. It wasn't as clean as it needed to be from BLG. Flandre then is able to walk down, not even TP, still has access to the summoner spell. They clean up the fight, they clean up the dragon, and suddenly this gold lead still dead even. What the hell?
I don't know, Frosk. I'm going to need Mason on the numbers right here because it is confusing to me. But either way, it is definitely a Snake win.
So issue is the pincer maneuver, which I guess for BLG's champions isn't the worst thing, but immediately losing 2 of your members, that definitely is. Now Jin Zhao does what he can, and he actually does very well, catches 3 people there with the feathers, but no one can stop Flandre at this point, and there's no defense. Jin Zhao steps a little bit too close, Flandre jumps off of the Mundo, back onto the Xayah, and then cleans up the rest of the fight.
Yeah, Jax will do that. This is the Jax who is very far ahead, hits very hard with the W max, and is now on 2.5 items, about to be picking up the Titanic Hydra, which is yet another reset for him in his terms of his auto attack. So basically, you can get 3 auto attacks down in like half a second, and it hurts a lot.
It hurts a lot.
Ooh, look at that gold for us.
2K difference between these 2 top laners.
Yes, sirree. And to be fair, SOFM, you know, was a supporting cast in this one. He ganked top lane like 17 billion times. And it worked. Real estate paid off. He got the investment.
It's literally between the supports. That's how BLG are still in this game. It's Road!
It's literally all him. And it is Road to find the pick onto Maestro. Indeed, you were the prophet, Frosk. It was between the supports.
Road, the one true savior of BLG. He's such a good metric. Like, I feel like you could cover up
the Road metric.
Cover all of the entire screen, and just depending on what Road's scoreline is, you can already tell if BLG are winning or losing. And if it's like 0-0-0, you're like, ah, they're losing.
So what do we call this? Like the Road paradigm? Like, we've got to give it a cool name.
The Road to Nowhere? I have no idea.
The Road to Nowhere, okay. Meanwhile, SOFM caught out, but he's got double the shields on top of him. Will he bleed out? That's the question. Oh no, by the skin of his teeth.
Click him!
Not even close, baby.
Come on! Observer, throw me a bone, click him!
Throw me something at the very least. BLG, off that pressure, they will find themselves a mid lane tower. And somehow, BLG are ahead in this game, even though it feels like Snake are winning every fight ever.
Well, when you have to use every single ultimate that you have defensively, chances are that you've probably ceded a lot of pressure and ground on your map. So BLG continuing to press forward, and a lot of it is because of how many engage tools that they have. Still access to the Rakan, still access to the Sejuani, and Flandre has not been given the time to really ramp out in these side lanes. He's constantly having to walk over to his team to try to dig them out of a bad situation. And speaking of bad situation, that started with SOFM, face checking.
Yeah, now that is a very good combo to stop people from continuing to chase into you, but those are 2 big ultimates burned by BLG, so it's, you know, tit for tat, but in the end there, Snake will keep their jungler alive at the expense of their mid lane tower. Now, we're 22 minutes into this game, and I'm looking at the items. Just a couple seconds ago, we had Light and Guogo with near the same items. This time they swapped it just a little, as they both got the Zhonya's Hourglass and 8 stacks on their Rod of Ages, so they are in very similar positions to themselves. In terms of the AD damage, you're looking at the old Flandre in top lane, who has completed 2. Now, SOFM...
If he's caught here, Baron is up, and BLG have made a very... It's so weird going from LGD versus TOP to BLG versus Snake. We're already at such a completely different level about how we're going to play this game. BLG know exactly what they want, and they are just hunting for these picks.
They are, but at the same time, Snake have been stepping up this game. It's a different style from them, specifically from the style of me.
But all they need to do is buy time. Again, all eyes on Flandre. He's managed to get the bottom wave going, which means that he's now tied up Mundo. AJ doesn't have TP, so if Snake are looking for their big window, which is why you see BLG sprinting away from them, they wanted that fight because they'd have the numbers advantage. And we're going to constantly be playing on kind of this seesaw of pressure.
So if he's got the ward down, he feels safe, he's going to jump over the wall. He's also, hey, doesn't know who's in that brush, plays it safe, brings Guogo with him. Again, he's playing so differently to what we usually see from SOFM. But all these small decisions, the way he plays these are just completely different.
It's also about Flandre and how he's playing with the windows of the push priority in bottom lane. Again, every time you watch him, he pushes the wave forward, he then runs into the river, now has control over the Scuttle Crab.
Knight's Vow picked up by SOFM. Noah Fiends and Holy Grail.
He's a good boy.
He is a good boy. Conditioned. I love it. SOFM.
It's not all about you, SOFM. Not anymore.
No. No, it's not. It's about Flandre in this one. He's just picked up his perfect timing on the stopwatch. He's feeling good about that one for certain.
Unlocks the dive potential.
Yeah.
Also means that he can stall it long enough that if he does wander into trouble, as long as Guoguo is paying attention, as well as the Shen, I mean, it is really hard to deal with the side lane. The 1/4 from Snake is disgusting.
100%. And again, is Maestro and Guogo just jumping on top of him there with the defense, team fight, or
they've started
side
the
push?
Baron. They're doing a 2-man.
Can they play possum? I mean, I'm just looking at Maestro. You've got Guogo just zoning away. I think he's going to bait them and be like, nah, I'm just going to jump away for the wave.
Oh.
Yeah, Mole knew something was up and he walks towards it. It was down to just below half, I think, before it reset. They were getting there. I mean, Flandre and SOFM were not really taking much damage either, so I like the idea in theory. I actually love it. Unfortunately, the minion wave had it been in a different place. Top lane, I think, would have not tipped BLG off.
And if you go way back, BLG and Snake used to be in the same conference, so, you know, maybe getting an inkling for what Snake were doing. Again, LGD and TOP have a lot of experience together. They used to be in the same conference. They used to play all the time. BLG and Snake have so much experience together. This is the neighborhood battle. Edward Gaming, BLG, and Snake all used to live together. And here we go.
Oh, finding the pick right here onto the Swain. He's locked down still. Does he have time to Zondias? No, he does not. Lights out for him. Meanwhile, Snake on the front lines looking at Flandre. He's 1 versus 4 right now while Mole tries to do the same onto 2. And eventually Flandre will go down. Oh, late on that one, Grow. He's going to find the 3-man taunt, but he has to flash away instantly. Just as much not caught on this one, but the stun follow-up Permafrost is good. Nice disengage from SOFM, but it's still 2 kills to the BLG lineup.
I mean, great disengage to get Quogo to safety, but now you don't have access to your cast, and there's so many healthy members up for BLG. So as long as they can just hold this, which you see Road is on the back of the pit, so he's trying to play defense here from SOFM.
3-man stack, SOFM low on mana, but has the flash
7
and the
seconds
smite.
on light.
Road is the one blocking right now, but he's taken some hits from the Gragas. 5,000 HP on the Baron. Grow and Maestro stepping up.
Light.
Here comes the teleport over the wall. SOFM big. Oh, it's secured by Chieftain. Finds it in clutch. But Thwain into the fight. 1 versus everybody. He'll find 1. Look for the second. Road now caught in this one. That'll be another kill onto Maestro, but SOFM, can he find the stop on the recall? He wants a Jinjiao. Amazing J goes back to base, and the Xayah is on the run, looking for the lockdown. Didn't find it on the Blade Caller, but we'll find it onto Swain.
Here comes Guogua.
Guogua off to the side, charging up the taunt, finds 1, turns it around just as punch, auto attack, and never move anymore. That will be another kill to Snake.
And they managed to clean up 2 of the Barons, but with 3 left, it means that if BLG want, they can impact every single lane on the map. Now, Amazing J then immediately uses his TP and rocks up into the Mountain Dragon, so a big win for BLG when it's all said and done. And the thing is they just catch Snake off guard. Snake had no vision on the bottom side of the river, were unable to see this flank coming, so just BLG understanding exactly what their composition wanted. Night and day difference between LG and TOP. We spent 45 minutes dancing around the ARAM. Suddenly we're playing around objectives, we're playing around vision, we're causing flanks. It's beautiful.
To be fair, we were playing around Pixel Brush vision, and then only Monday was alive, so we couldn't take an objective. So
I'm just so happy to be here.
Feels good, man. Change of venue, breath of fresh air coming out of Chongqing right now. And Snake, they've been firing back, but ultimately it's BLG. No longer the comeback kids. They're actually just ahead in this game. Feeling good about this for certain. As Light is stepping up to Mole. Mole finds the entire cap. Still got that smite. Even better on the old objective control, and that's also going to count towards in this pressure situations. You're like, burst at 2k. That's something you can do when you have double smite versus SOFM trying to find the steal.
And credit where credit is due. Road having the Revelry, Chieftain on this Sejuani, as he's now going to catch out SOFM.
Bad news bears. We've got Galio coming down, but his ally's already dead. Man to knock up onto Amazing J, but Road's into the back line. Meanwhile, the flank coming in from Flandre. Where is it? Because Jinjiao is currently tearing everybody up, including Guo. Flandre, timeout for him. He's down. Sit in the naughty corner. That's going to be another kill onto Guogo. 3 kills to BLG. They could do some serious damage to this base.
And the Western Conference just has nothing left. The East is just slapping them around right now. Now, yes, it is a best of 3, but BLG, this is a team who have been struggling. They are bottom of the barrel in the Eastern Conference. People have been writing them off, but they look like a completely rejuvenated team against Snake, and they are just throwing them around.
All over the house right now. BLG pushing down the front door. Amazing J leading the charge, and he will not be dying in a hurry. He is a Mundo. Light pushing the back, however, goes into the Ascension. SOFM pushing forwards along with Maestro. This is enough to send BLG packing.
And back to the point that I was trying to make before. Credit where credit is due. Road and Chieftain, these hard engaged champions of the Sejuani and the Rakan, are so potent against Snake, as well as Snake's composition this game. Again, Snake are the team that are good at stop and go type of team fights. They like to eat everything, and they're suddenly blitzing from all sides. They're causing chaos. They're breaking up these big 5v5s into smaller 2v2s and 3v3s. But when you have this much engage and this much burst potential, Snake don't get to do that. They can't play the side lane. They can't set up Flandre. Look, Flandre on the bottom side of your map. He's just like, stop fighting. I need to push these waves. I need to actually be powerful as the Jax. And immediately SOFM is caught out. And yeah, SOFM shouldn't have been there, but BLG also have all of the tools to punish this type of style. Flandre then has to walk back to his team. Now he's up shit creek without a paddle, and everyone is dead.
And Guoguo, it seems like he's just maybe a little late, maybe a couple of seconds, but that's just a nitpick when it comes down to the larger picture. And you could say there's a lot in this snowstorm other than the rabbit. This is a major problem for Snake. Even though the early game was so clean from them, it just seemed like BLG were just accruing advantages. And we gave it the old road test, the temperature test, the touch test, and he was ahead. So that means that they are ahead. 2-2 and 7 right now on road. He's got the Reverie. He is putting in work this game.
And if you want to go all the way back, the issue is that Snake were unable to capitalize in the mid-game. They unlocked Flandre early, they set up the lane assignments, but they never had the ability where Jax was threatening and absorbing all of this pressure. BLG did a phenomenal job with their vision, constantly denying, clearing out Snake's vision, forcing them to face check into them, and then just capitalizing with their composition.
This could be it. This could be the last chance saloon for Snake to come back into game 1 of this series in Chongqing, in the Snake Pit. The place they call home. BLG knocking on the cat flap. I guess this is not quite the front door, is it? Looking towards this bottom lane, and it is being held currently. There is a good amount of wave clear between the Force Lightning followed by the Winds of War, but eventually something is going to crack, and the mid lane has already done that.
But it's low risk, high reward, because the fact of the matter is there's nothing for BLG to play on the map right now, so you might as well try to get the kill, because if you kill Snake here, you win the game. If you die here, at worst, you maybe give over a couple of bounties, a couple of guild, but there's not like Snake can run it back down at the end of the game. There's no Baron, there's no Dragon.
Road once in, Road once out. But so far, they're trying to take this tower down. It's going to turn into a full-on brawl. Jinjiao on the front lines. He needs to flash away from this one. Flandre, who can get on top of... Oh, what a route coming in from the AD carry. Flandre, though, with the Guardian Angel. He's looking for a target, and he's found Mundo. Chieftain finding a way back into this fight, and Mo wants to find an assassinate, but it's not going to happen. BLG, somehow, the tank is still alive, and it could turn back towards them. The combat kids within this fight. Flandre jumps back towards his team, but is looking for the counter-strike. Oh, the follow-through from Maestro is good. He blocks a couple auto-attacks, but they can't quite get on to the targets they want to. Road with a re-engage once again, and Maestro goes down.
The gold lead speaking for itself. It's close to 10k in favor of BLG, and as I was saying, it is just high reward, low risk. You always take the team fight right there, because even if Snake do win it, they don't get anything on the map. It's too deep to run back. BLG, they've got the tankiness, they've got the gold, they've got the stats. They weather the storm and take their second inhib with Baron in 1 minute.
Power position right now, BLG. As you said, objective spawning shortly, and this will be maybe the last shot. Oh, Flandre, you cannot be there, my friend. Caught between a rock and everybody on BLG. They will kill the carry of Snake, and now they will potentially look for the win. Road finds 3. What a knockup, what a play. And Guoguo, he's gone golden, but he is way too low. He will fall, and Jinjiao will put him down. BLG find another. Put him in the fridge. He's going down permanently on that one. Maestro going back to base, and that's FM kiting back. But BLG, 5-man strong, wounded, but not down. They will look for the win right here, trying to take this to a clean 2-0. They are going to pause for a second to pad those stats before they look towards the Nexus. And they run rampant within Snake's house. They will take game 1 and take us to game 2.
Again, a bottom tier Eastern Conference team. BLG have been struggling to find success, to find momentum, and they clean up Snake like it's easy. Now, Snake did have control over the early game, but BLG never gave them any sort of breathing room. Really came back online in that mid game, and a lot of it was understanding the composition, knowing when and how to execute. Huge credit to Chieftain and Road.
Just across the board, good from BLG. I mean, we saw great things from Snake, and hopefully they actually stick to some of those things that we did see out from them. Yeah, he's got to be comfortable, man. We are in a blazing hot summer here in China, and I'm sure it is no different there in Chongqing. So I totally respect it. My shoes are not on either right now.
But you take a look at the damage done. Jinjiao, the thing is that when BLG didn't have any sort of mid-game presence, Jinjiao's stats personally just got tanked. There was nothing he could do. Now that BLG have the duo of Chieftain and Mole, and BLG can survive the lane phase, suddenly Jinjiao looks a lot better. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine. That's an old throwback. That was an old storyline. Jinjiao unable really to get onto the field. Look at him now. Look at him go. 27,000 damage. And Flandre, we're calling him the carry of the team, but a lot of it was coming out from the tanks and the burn damage coming out. He was there for the cleanup. and for the first damage.
I mean, frankly, Snake just didn't execute on their composition. They needed Flandre to be that powerhouse in the side lane. And I'm not going to say that that's Flandre's fault. Yes, maybe there's some instances where you say you shouldn't have TP'd, you shouldn't have collapsed to your team, but ultimately, Snake never set themselves in a position where Flandre could come online and be powerful and be that pressure valve because they kept getting caught. SOFM and Guoguo, time and time again.
Over and even though it didn't turn into a kill onto them, it did turn into pressure or a mid lane tower or an objective.
Wasted time
exactly.
and wasted momentum.
Yeah, and that allowed BLG to. It wasn't a comeback. They just stayed ahead in that game all the way through. Small or big, they managed to close it out. Well played to BLG. They'll take us to game 2. For now, though, we're going to send it back to the analyst desk.
BLG proving once again that the East is superior so far in this game 1. And Snake looking like running around without a head in that game.
Yeah, like BLG 1-5 of their own conference, but looking at a 2-0 possibly in the West so far. I think their biggest success here was targeting down the 4-1 and never letting Flandre set up any of those side waves. Flandre had a great start to the game. He was 3-1-2, 2,000s of gold ahead of the Mundo, but every time Snake as a 4-man tried to match the push of Flandre, they were instantly attacked by BLG. Road on Rakan is a no-no. You absolutely have to ban that away. He gave no breathing room for Snake, and they just never got the 4-1 going.
Yeah, and that is such a struggle when you're trying to run a 4-1 strategy. You want to try to bait the enemy backwards and forwards by saying, there are 4 of us here. Our Jax is teleport. Should you fight us or should you not? And Road just said, all right, and then all in.
Yep.
And there was no time for a reaction from Flandre to flank. More often than not, he was finding the flanks. He was able to get into the back line and find Jin Zhao, but there's only so much a Jax can do when 2 members of his team is already dead. Galio has used Hero's Entrance on the wrong target. And then Jin Zhao just uses his summoners to try and escape. I think the one time it was successful was when Jin Zhao actually stepped up in the fight and Flandre got the surprise counter-strike
The key thing about Jax is that he only really has one chance at going at the back line. He only has that leap strike, and if it doesn't work, if he fails, if he comes in and has to go on a tank, then that team fight is done. And you could see the difference between the 3 team fights. First one, Jax stands onto Jin Zhao, the game is over instantly. But the second one and the third one where he has to go on the Mundo, Jax as a fighter doesn't have the reinitiation power to go towards the back anymore. So, you know, really good props on BLG reading the competition and playing it out well.
Yeah, definitely a successful win for BLG to play around that strength from Snake. The question is, can they do it in game 2? We're going to find out, but first we're going to take a quick break.
我们的目标是再次突出重围，哔哩哔哩干杯！